Hi everybody, welcome back to the Dahlia Society. My name is Kristen. Today I'm here to bring you another fantastic free t-shirt pattern, so stay tuned for that. Now, if you're interested in anything to do with sewing, I welcome you to subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell, and that way you'll be kept up to date with my latest episodes. Now today I'm here to bring you another fantastic free pattern. This one is one I've made last year. I made my first one and I've made another couple more just recently. It's a beautiful drapey style t-shirt with a lovely scoop neck, which is the perfect style scoop for me. It's the Doe Plantain t-shirt. Now it's a free downloadable pattern that you will go and hop on their website and see that you can just click on, pop your email in, and you can download that and keep that to your files. And the reason I love this is saying I love the styling of the scoop. I think it's a perfect lower scoop that's not too low. I don't find it a gapey neckline, especially when you're bending over. Some of the lower scoop necklines can get a little bit gapey if you're, if you're going to work or you're moving around and bending. You don't want to be exposing too much. And the lower scoop neck with this is just the perfect style for me. If you're familiar with Doe patterns, you'll know that they're a French company run by women, which is fantastic. One thing to make sure with when you're downloading the pattern is that you click the correct instructions. They'll be in either French or English, and I find Doe instructions are really well written, perfectly illustrated, and they give you a really clear and defined outline of what you need to do. So perfect for a beginner. The sizing in this goes from a 34 to 52. So I think by working out with measurements, it looks like they're around about a size 4 to a size 22. I made the size 42 to 44, which is like the 14 to 16, and for me it's perfect. The thing I love a lot about this top too, not only with the scoop, the sleeve in this design top is the perfect style short sleeve for me because it's not too short and capped. It's just that nice length. And I've also made one in a long sleeve as well. And I know on the pattern envelope you'll see that one of the long sleeve style version A, I think it might be, has the elbow patches that you can add that on for another alternative, a bit of a design feature as well. But I love the length of this top as well. It's another thing that's great for me, especially if you're wearing it with like a skinny jean or even like a legging or a pant. It's like slim fitting, so you want that nice drapey style top. Now today I've got mine on with my Tazudi Susie pants, which I've made quite a few of these pants because I love making them in a nice lightweight rayon fabric or viscose fabric. I just think they're the perfect summery pants to wear. So I'll give you a little bit of a look. I'll stand back over here. So today I've got it tucked in, the front tucked in and the back hanging out. I'll give you a bit of a look how the length looks when it's actually out. It's got a lovely drape to it. I think it's a perfect length as well. So it's the sort of top you can wear even like a tied at the front. I know a lot of those self-tie tops are really in fashion at the moment, but I love the fact that you can tuck this in or you can leave it hanging out and quite drapey as well. Now for the short sleeve version, for a 150 width, you'll need about 1.5 meters. That is for the short sleeve version. If you're making the long sleeve version, you'll need about 1.7. Now it's always best to get the wider width fabric because it just lets you have that little bit more room, especially for that sort of A-line swing style top. But if you're using a narrower fabric, of course you're going to need a bit more fabric. And you need a 40 to 50% stretch as well. So this one is in a cotton interlock, and I know it would work perfectly in a rayon jersey style fabric. It'll give you that beautiful drape as well. So that's another type of fabric that it works perfectly in. So nothing too sturdy, like you wouldn't want to use a ponte or a scuba or anything that's too sort of thick, and two-way stretches won't work. You really do need to have a nice good stretch value in your fabric to get that drapey effect, because you'll see through the bust line it has that nice shaping and it has that negative ease across the bust, and then around the waist you'll see it has that lovely drape effect. Always best to do a scoop neckline with the quartering method. Sometimes you'll find with a quartering method, because you've got that lower scoop at the front, it doesn't quite even up when you're doing your stretch value and you're stretching to pull at each corner. So sometimes I find I will quarter the neckband and put my pins in at each quarter, and then I'll work out with my neckline where the quarters are. So don't always use those shoulder seams as the quarter, because you've got that longer scoop at the front, so more fabric will need to go around the front, and you don't want to have the puckering and gathering effect you want to have that nice smooth outline. So I always try to corner the neckline in those exact spots, but don't use your shoulder seams as your exact quarter space. So that way you'll get that lovely smooth even neckline. And there are quite a lot of tutorials online too if you need help with that. It can take a little bit of mastering, a little bit of practice to get that right. Another thing I find too is if you're using your overlocker to put a neckband on, sometimes it can get a little bit hard to get that nice even stitch line without going too far into your ribbing, and you might find that your ribbing will get uneven. So I always use my twin needle on the inside first to stitch around, and then I finish it off with the overlocker. That way I give myself that nice even neckline. So little hints and tips like that I think are worthwhile looking into. Now I'll put some photos up of the other one I made, which was in a cotton interlock slub jersey fabric in a lovely rust colour. I wore that a lot last year, and because I loved it so much I decided to make another one in the green. And I've actually got plans to make a couple of these in basic colours, like a black and a white, maybe even a navy for winter, because I just think they're the perfect style to wear underneath cardigans or jackets without having too much bulk and too much gathering, too much volume, but they give you that sort of lovely shaping effect, and they're still long enough to wear like over, as I say, over skinnier pants if you don't want to have anything too cropped. Now, I'm a huge fan of Doe Patterns. I absolutely love their magnolia dress. I made a couple of those and did an episode on them last year, so I'll link that above if you missed out on that one. I had such a great success with that dress. I made it, as I say, in 2 different fabrics, and it's going to be one of my firm favorites. I just love the neckline. I really enjoyed making it, and I think their instructions are really well written, and they put a lot of thought into the styling of their garments as well. I also love the Maya Sodas dress, which I haven't made yet, and I've got that in plans to make in the near future. So if you've made Doe patterns before and you've had any success and that you love any of the patterns, let me know in the links in the comments below, because I'd love to hear any of your feedback on those. I'm going to go and pop another t-shirt on that I've made in my free t-shirt series that you may have never heard of the pattern company before, but then you might have as well. Well, voila, I have done a quick change. This is my next free t-shirt to tell you all about today. You may have heard about a company called DIBY, which is Do It Better Yourself. I actually hadn't stumbled across them till last year, and when I did, I was like amazed. Sorry about Meg. The birds really taunt her. She loves chasing them. And by the way, everyone, Meg says hi. I had a lot of responses from the last episode with people saying how much they just love Meg and she needs to have her own channel, which, yeah, I admit she probably does. As I said, the DIBY club, which is Do It Better Yourself, has many tutorials. There's so many online tutorials, blogs, and different hacks with garments, and so much sewing information. So if you haven't hopped on their website, I will link it below for you to have a look at. They've got a fantastic array of patterns for men, women, and children as well. This one, it was another free pattern, and it's called the Abbott Tee, which stands for anything but basic tee. There's quite a few different options in this one as well. This one, you'll notice that I did a medium scoop neck, and I have got the short sleeve. You can do it in elbow length, 3/4 sleeve, long sleeve, short sleeve. The necks, there's 3 different neckline options. We've got the higher neck, the medium scoop that I've got on now, and the lower scoop. So it gives you all those varieties to choose from, which is great because you can really mix and match and find that perfect style top for you. This one I have made today in a ponte fabric that you might recognise. I actually made my Friday Pattern Company Westcliff dress out of this ponte, and I had a little bit of excess left over. So I think I made this out of about just over a metre, maybe 1.1 metres. So you really will find that you'll get away with having that little bit of leftover fabric. And I'm sure many of you have that hanging around in your stash, that little bit of maybe metre to 1.2 metres of fabric that you really need to try and find something to do it with. This is a perfect style top for that. So it's a relaxed style t-shirt, but I wouldn't call it so much as a boyfriend style t-shirt, which is more of a boxy style t-shirt. This has quite a bit more shaping to it. And on the packet envelope, it shows it's quite a long t-shirt. I thought it might be a bit too long for a fitted t-shirt, but that's really a personal thing. You might really find that works really well for you and gives you that nice coverage in winter. So I'll stand back and you guys can have a little bit of a look how I've styled it. I've just got it on with a denim skirt, and you can see it's quite a lovely shape, a lovely neckline, and as I say with the ponte, I think it works really well. It needs a two-way stretch fabric, so I think it's nicer done in something with a little bit more body. So I probably wouldn't use anything too drapey. Like I wouldn't use a rayon spandex for this. I would use more of a cotton interlock or a ponte or even a scuba. I think would work really well. Saying with the length, I found it a little bit too long. I actually took about 5 centimeters off, and the reason I know this is because I wrote it down to remind myself, because I always say you do forget things like that. So I think if it was any longer, it might be a bit too long, depending on what you want to wear it with. But if you like something you can tuck in, then you might really prefer it to be long so it stops untucking for you. But yeah, I think it looks lovely in a bold plain color as well. And I really like the neckline. The high neckline I think would even work really well for winter, just for that bit more extra warmth, especially in a thicker style fabric. So another free pattern, the Abb Tee by DIBY Club, and make sure you pop over to their website, because I think you'll be really surprised at just how many patterns they've got. And they're a very popular pattern company as well. As I say, everything's downloadable on their free patterns. What more could you want? I actually have made one of their tops last year. Now it was a wind cheater style fabric, like I made it in a French terry, had the nice curved hem. It might have been called the Adrian, I think. I will link that as well. I loved that on, and I think that would work really well for a lot of varieties of more of a thicker weight fabric for winter, and also for things like jerseys and French terries as well. But that one isn't a free pattern, and I think that you'd probably find you'll love the styling of that. So I hope that's given you a little bit more inspiration to make some more free tops. Download them, even if you keep them in your Google Drive, if you guys have Google Drives, that way that you're not clogging up your computer with too many downloads. And that way, I think too, if anything ever happens to your computer or your hardware, you have them in a separate cloud. It's really worthwhile to do that and to keep everything in order. Otherwise, I find that I have so many patterns and you lose track of them. So it's a great idea to take photos and also put them into a pattern app to keep track of what you've got. Because yeah, you do lose track quite easily the amount of patterns that you can accumulate without having ever made them. That way you can keep on top of it. And it's fantastic having that catalogue to scroll through. When you do have fabric you're not quite sure what to do with it, you can look at your pattern app and you can scroll through and see. And you know, when you get the visual, I think it works really well. A lot of people use Google Docs to write down the pattern names, but I love to have a visual to remind me what I've got and what to make in the future. Thank you so much for watching. I've got one more free top episode to come. I hope you will stay tuned for that next time. And I think it's really been a valuable thing. And as I say, people loving the free patterns, especially when they've been tried and tested. I think the Deer and Doe Plantain would be definitely my favourite. The Abb Tee, I'll probably maybe wouldn't make it again. I think it's a lovely top, but it's probably not something I would look for in my wardrobe. I prefer to have that drapier style top to wear over jeans and that type of thing. And unless you're using it for something like under a hoodie or a zip up top to wear with like track pants for doing yoga and that type of thing, this is probably the perfect style t-shirt for that. So it really depends on your lifestyle and what you need to have in your wardrobe and what you need to fill those gaps with. And it's a really great idea to test different patterns out, and that's the only way you will know, because we're all different. We all look for different things and different styling in certain patterns, so it's a great idea to test these out yourself. And I hope you've enjoyed my little bit of background here today. You'll see I'm in my little herb garden that is flourishing at the moment. I will give you a little bit of a look at what I've got growing there. I've got some basil, some parsley, some mint, some sage, some thyme and some chives. So I really love coming out here and picking the herbs to add to the cooking. I just think they're the easiest things to grow, and they just make you feel good to be around. Thank you for watching today. We will see you again soon. Don't forget to give this vlog a thumbs up if you enjoyed this episode, and I will be bringing you another episode as soon as I can. Bye for now.